Just when you thought defense couldn't get any tougher, we've got a new attack strategy for bases with strong hybrid defense in the middle. Here is Koa from Saigon by Night. Same format as before, music first, strategy second. Enjoy the music. Okay, let's first look at this base. So this base, I think it's got a pretty strong middle. If you look at their base, you'll notice it's got space down here, and that's actually 4 Teslas. So if you look in the middle, he's got 3 bows, a cannon, and 4 Teslas. And what that means is he's got reasonably high, you can take out the perimeter, but then you're faced with pretty high DPS. So let's just say, for example, they're hitting the archer tower here. You'll be under fire from the bow, the queen, probably 2 Teslas. So you're actually under quite a lot of damage, and that's what makes the hybrid defense on this base probably stronger than usual. If you look at it, it probably applies the 400 rule roughly around the perimeter, but if you look inside, even when the perimeter goes down, because it's got a lot stacked in the center, you get quite a lot of damage as the hybrid's trying to get in. Now, you might be able to access the queen pretty easily, but then to get through to the inferno, you can see you've got 400 DPS here, you've got the bow, you've maybe got these 2 bows also under fire protecting that inferno. So there's a lot of DPS to actually get through to the infernos. But the weakness on this base, and a lot of people are doing this, and I just want to touch on the sort of the spread perimeter. And I know people sort of say, well, the loons have got a bit further to travel, and so maybe you get another shot or 2 in terms of your loons getting to the base. But have a look at the free buildings here. So you've got that's 4 queen shots here for this, 3, 3, 3, and 2. So that's 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So the queen can get in 15 shots. So that's roughly, effectively you're giving away 8 or 9 seconds of your hybrid before they've actually got to drop golems or giants or anything like that. So one of the, it is quite, to me it's quite a weakness, spreading out your base like this, because 9 seconds is probably the difference between a hybrid succeeding or failing. Or say it might be an extra 2 giants, you've got to drop to protect your queen. That 2 giants, 2 balloons, it can be the difference between the raid succeeding and failing. And so by offering up a lot of free buildings, you'd make the hybrids a lot easier. And look, I think the key to air defense right now is defending the hybrid. And if you're going to give away 9 seconds to the hybrid, so because you don't have to drop your golems or giants earlier, that's quite a lot, and I think it gives the hybrid a lot more chance of success. So that's really what I wanted to comment on the base. A lot of DPS in the centre makes the hybrid a lot stronger, but just spreading out the perimeter buildings gives a lot more time for the hybrid, in the sense that your shields, your golems or your giants aren't taking damage anywhere near as long, and that gives the hybrid more chance of success. Now, what's brutal about this raid structure is the way it tackles the base and really leaves the centre alone, because you've got a base here with a lot of DPS in the centre. They've got all the Teslas there, all the bows there, a cannon there, and it's also stacked with a couple of the high hit point buildings. They've left one or two of the gold stores outside. I'm not sure why they've done that. Probably because they could have fit them in if they really tried. But look, this attack just picks off one side, so it really just picks off the mortar, 2 archer towers, the AD, and in terms of the air defences, that's all it's picking off. 2 archer towers, AD, and a whiz tower here, and in this corner it's just picking off an archer tower and a whiz tower here. And just with taking that out, what it's done is 2 things. So what one AD slightly weakens the air defense and 3 bows as well, but it also creates a funnel through the base. So you just imagine this corner gone, and imagine most of this side gone. So when you drop the loons across the top here, they will funnel all the way through the middle and take out the infernos as they sort of funnel through. And I guess if you can, you try and drop the loons here this side first, so the queen will get caught here. If you can freeze the queen on the bow as the sort of queen comes this way, so drop your freeze here, then the loons will probably come through and kill the queen on the way through, and you've effectively funneled your loons through the base. And it seems 4 lavas for 3 ADs, that's enough to get through. And if you freeze your queen on a defense, you've killed the queen. You've really only got to deal with the CC, so that is a really effective approach. And what I love about this attack is you just avoid the middle of the base, in terms of if it's got a really good setup in the middle, you can just skim your perimeter and skim a corner, create a funnel and pass your loons through, and it works beautifully. So let's have a look at the hybrid, to the way they've done it. So what now, unfortunately I zoomed out a bit too much here, but you can see they started clearing out some of the free buildings. So the king's going to go straight in here, and the queen's picking off some freebies over here, and just picking off free buildings, and then they'll drop the giant. You can see the giant's been dropped there. The giant will draw the fire away from the queen, and then they progressively just drop giants. And I guess the key here is just to drop your giants early enough so it draws all the fire. Probably pays to overcook it and have an extra giant, make sure the queen doesn't get hit. But you can see the queen works away along the side, king working away in parallel will come to this pocket, they'll drop some wall breakers, pop the pocket, and the king will rage through here. I think we'll touch on this in the Lavaloon stage of the raid, but I think one of the clever things here is the way they use the king to sort of draw out the CC and draw the troops away from the Lavaloons. But you can see the queen has happily gone along that side, just was at 3 giants, and has cleared out that side really easily. With sort of 3 giants and the queen ability, and the king has taken out that corner. So that's all you've got to do with the hybrid, to sort of clear out those 2 pockets, and then you're sort of set for your Lavaloon drop. Now let's have a look at how this raid deals with the clan castle. So what happens is they sort of raids the king in, king takes out these 3 defences, that pulls some of the clan castle to the king. And I guess the idea is there some of the ground defences get killed by all the barbs of the king. That should take out a fair few of them. The other thing is that the lavas come in here to the AD, and I think the idea is, so you've got 2 lavas on the AD, the defense will come in here, the balloons will come over the top of the AD and kill everything which is under the AD or near there with the splash. And so that basically leaves you with just whatever minions are in the CC. So if there's, say there's 4 minions, there's 100 DPS, and I guess you're making a bit of a bet that they'll focus on the lavas, and that's not going to be enough to prevent your raid. But basically, you're just letting the CC coming to your raging king with the barbs, and the lavas which are attached to an AD, have your loons come across the top, and you're just left with the air parts of your CC. And only if it's air to air like minions or dragons or something does it cause you any grief. So that's the way they deal with the CC. Let's have a look at that a bit more closely. So you can see the king, the CC is targeting the king, and also the lavas comes out to the king, but the loons will come across here and kill any sort of ground troops. You can see the king's killing the ground troops, and the loons kill the rest of the ground troops. There might be a couple left there, but it's not a lot. And so you kill most of the CC by them just coming to the lava and the king in terms of the lure. But you see that all that's really left is some minions, and that's taking out a couple of balloons, but the base is pretty much gone at this stage, and hopefully you've got enough pups that'll take out the remaining minions, and then you'll win your raid. Okay, now for the Lavaloon drop, and this is a really skilled drop, so we'll look at this in some close detail. But basically you've got 4 lavas, so you drop 2 lavas approaching each of the ADs at different angles. So you can clear out any of the bombs and the like in front of the ADs, and you'll notice that they drop the loons. Firstly, you'll notice they drop really tight on the lavas. So the idea is that the loons come as soon as possible and start inflicting damage on the lavas. Now in the drop, you'll see they'll drop a rage here and a rage here to sort of rush the loons through to the middle, and then they'll drop one more rage through here to take them through the middle of the base. In terms of the freeze, they will try and catch the queen under one of these defences here, and that you'll see that takes out the queen, and then the second rage is obviously, also freeze is obviously for this inferno here, and I think they leave it quite late. Now let's have a look at the drop. So you can see 2 lavas, then you'll see 3 balloons there. So targeting this as you do the perimeter defences, so 3. But you'll notice here that they've slightly spread them, and by slightly spreading them, one of the balloons will hit this side and path through to this archer tower, 2 will hit this side and path through to the AD. So they've actually dropped that in a manner where the balloons will split and take out both those defences, rather than these balloons have to come through on that archer tower. So that's a pretty good piece of skill first up there. Now this next side is just amazing. So obviously, they've dropped the 2 lavas, 3 balloons coming at this whiz tower there, and then they've got a couple of balloons at this cannon, and then they've got these 2 really clever drops. So have a look at what they do here. So this is also coming at the it looks like it's coming at the mortar, and these 2 will route towards the cannon, but they're actually both targeted at different buildings to what they initially target. But because they're dropped at the back, they will retarget and then therefore hit the archer tower and the AD. So have a look at this beautiful loon drop. So you can see that the balloons coming in, you can see they're bunching in on this cannon here. So it's a good piece of base design, force the bunch. And you see these balloons, you've got these 2 sets of lagged balloons, which are targeting the mortar and the cannon. But you'll see that, so drop the 2 rages, but you'll see that once the cannon goes down, those balloons that were dropped late, because they didn't quite hit the cannon, will retarget on the air defense, and when the mortar goes down, those 2 balloons that drop late will retarget on the archer tower here. And you can see, so what they've actually done is dropped 2 balloons that initially targeted at one building, but because they're lagged, going to retarget at the others, and that brings the balloons nice and straight by taking out the archer tower and the AD there. So just a really I'll just sort of go back so you can see that. So you can see those. The drop up here, those 2, the last 2 drops of balloons, you can see last dropped, coming through towards the cannon and the mortar. Mortar goes down, you can see those balloons retarget on the archer tower, and the cannon goes down, and you can see those two balloons retarget on the air defence. So really clever piece of skill. We've got buildings where this base was almost designed to route the balloons around those two buildings, but by using a late lagged drop, they actually hit those two buildings and bring the balloon straight on the middle. You'll also see here the freeze, so they've frozen the queen on the arch tower. The balloons will come over the top, boom, 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 and I think the queen is just dies. Just dies there. You can see so balloons routing through the middle. You can see the second freeze there, and you can see the base is gone at this stage. So just an awesome attack. I think those two balloons were probably targeted at the archer tower there. Somehow they've sort of hit the cannon, but enough balloons to sort of finish the raid, and the base is gone. So look, I think that's a really scary attack in terms of the bases right now, because there's a lot of bases with that sort of style, and if a base does nail its hybrid defense in the middle by putting a lot of DPS in the middle, you can see it can be vulnerable to picking off the perimeter with that sort of style. And you're really only picking off an AD, a couple of archer towers and 2 whiz towers, and then routing the troops through the middle. But you can also see there's a lot of skill there in the airdrop and a lot of planning in that, and I think that's what makes the base that's what makes that raid really work.